welcome to round 3 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of August 2nd. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
And Nicole Eridix.
Hi there.
We're moms of teens and young adults, and when it comes to parenting, we've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But we're still waiting for that day when we'll reach the finish line and have no further need to lay down in a dark room with a wet rag over our eyes, worrying about something or other. Wednesday's complaint day here on Parenting Roundabout, and today we're complaining about teamwork, whether it's having to be on a team when you don't want to be, or needing a team when you don't have one.
Yeah.
So we are asking, are you a team player, or do you prefer to go it alone? Terry, what's your team feeling?
I sure do like the idea of a team. That sounds good. My problem, of course,
to
being
share the load.
That people don't do things the way I want it done, and
Right.
so therefore I just do it myself.
Yep.
But in theory, it's good. I would like to be a team player. I would like to have a team that did things and then I didn't have to do them. I wonder what that would be like. I have to recruit very carefully.
That's right. Because it does feel like it's very easy to get that group project situation where you feel like you do all the work because no one else is doing it to your satisfaction.
Yeah. Remember the one summer we did a Camp Mom, and that was a team thing, and then it was me and these two other moms, and we were doing a camp for our kids. But I always felt like I had the greater load. And I'm sure if you asked them, they would have said, it's because you wouldn't let us do anything. So.
Yeah, but wasn't part of the issue that
part of the issue was
drove?
Driving, yes.
Yeah.
That I was the only one who drove, so I had to drive everywhere. But then I also sort of felt like, I was doing my About.com parenting site at the time, so I had all these ideas, and we should do this, and we should do that, and here's how we should do it. And I think they just finally thought, well, okay, fine, we'll just sit over here. And then I resented them for just sitting over there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to stay away from me.
Can't win.
Have you had a successful team experience, Catherine?
It totally depends, right? Like, I've definitely been on work teams that generally did work, you know, where I've had certain bosses who were really good at facilitating good teamwork.
Yeah, that's true.
But then, there's things like, I don't know, volunteer groups or whatever.
And not so much.
Where it's like, oh, can you help so-and-so with this? And then somehow I end up doing everything.
Yeah.
And is it because, I wanted to do it my way? Or is it because they realized I would just go ahead and do it if they didn't? That's kind of how I feel like things tend to go sometimes.
Yeah.
So
the key is to find a small job to do on the team so that you can contribute but will not be expected to do anything major.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of felt like when my daughter was in band and I was on the band parents committee and I was the secretary. So I would take notes and I would print up the notes and I would distribute the notes and I would stand up at the meeting and say something. And that was pretty much it. And a lot of people were doing really, really hard stuff, but I had my job. I did my job. Here's the typed notes.
Exactly.
And so I wasn't, necessarily called upon to do any bigger stuff because I had my thing.
And I always end up being the secretary in any group that I'm in.
Do you?
Yes.
How come?
Because I am a rule follower, so I go to every meeting.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes. I feel very obligated to go to every meeting. And then once they realize that I'm always there, I think is part of it. And then, I don't know. I also think when you're a woman on a board with men, they often assume that you'd be good at taking notes.
So you could have taken notes in both English and French and they didn't know.
And then once I start, they realize, oh, I am good at it. You know, I can summarize meetings and I can write them up clearly, and then I can distribute them, you know, the same day, because I'm not going to mess around.
Like, the same day? No, I need the whole month because I don't want to go
back to it. I take notes during, and then I clean them up a little bit, but not much. Like, I try to do it so that I don't have to change it very much. You know, I like to get it off my plate.
Right.
The same
That's
day.
very smart. I would have been wise to follow that way of doing things, but I was more oh crud, it's the meeting tonight. Oh man, where are my notes?
Yeah.
That was more my style. But
and I think when it comes to parenting, as we've discussed many times, I have control issues, so I want to do things I want to do things my way, but then I resent that I don't get help.
Yes, sister, so I feel you.
There is no winning in that situation either for anyone.
Right. You both insist on doing it and resent the people who don't.
Right. Exactly.
That's a healthy family dynamic right there.
Right. I have a friend who's a single mom, you know, she by choice. And when she was about to have her baby, I said, you know, just knowing you, I think that you're going to appreciate that you get to make all the decisions.
Yes.
That's true.
Because you know, she didn't plan to or necessarily want to do it that way. But I said, you know, just trust me on this. I think it's going to be good. I think you're going to like it.
Yeah.
And I think she does.
I could see that. The one thing I like in terms of having a parenting team that I am definitely the quarterback on, but it's nice to have somebody to implement the plans you make. And my husband has been super good at that. I have to do all the worrying. I have to do all the advocating. I have to do all the research and the figuring of the stuff out, but he will drive the kid there. And he will, you know, he will do a lot of the background stuff, or he will take care of things at home so I can go do that stuff. That's nice. I would miss that as a single parent. I don't know how they do that part. It's nice to be able to delegate sometimes.
Yeah, you guys have a division of labor that works well for you.
It does. Although if I could share some of the worrying, that'd be keen. But no. Nobody wants that delegated to them.
Yeah.
Got a big thing of worry here. Who's up for it? Raise your hand. No, just me? Okay, fine. I'd do better, though. They wouldn't worry as well as I do. Wouldn't be the rich worrying experience.
How about you, Nicole? This was an idea that you mentioned.
My idea.
A topic that you were thinking about.
Probably because I'm not a team player. Not willingly, at least. I am a rule follower, so I do feel some kind of social obligation to participate and do my part and pull my weight. And I do that, I feel. If it's a low stakes situation, I may not follow all the rules. I might skip out on a meeting or two. I don't usually sign up to do things like secretary or anything because I just feel like it's just not me. Like I'm not invested enough.
Yeah.
So, and I know that there are other people who are, so I let them have that role.
Yeah. In many organizations, secretary is like the least invested role you can get. So
true, yeah. I mean, like I never did PTA or
yes,
like I just never did really, room mom. I did 1 year, but that was with a bunch of friends, and they did most of it. But I just, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm like it just is not really part of my who I am kind of thing. Like, but I encourage my kids to be to a certain extent. And so if it's high stakes, then I definitely will. Then that's when I become a little bit of a control freak and take the lead and make sure that things are being done the way I think is good.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd like to work collaboratively, like with one other person or maybe two other people. But beyond that, it's just not. I can't do big numbers. It it's frustrating. I feel swallowed up. I just feel like what's the point? Nobody's going to hear anyway. Like everybody just wants to, so I kind of feel like I'm best with small groups. So
that makes
that's when I'm
sense.
Yes.
most
Otherwise, you feel
successful.
like you're just a cog in the machine.
Yeah, and not that I want to like feel important or anything. It's just I feel like the dynamics of my personality are better suited for a smaller group,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
I get overwhelmed and I get too sensitive, and then I get too like, too, I don't know what it is. I'm not productive. I'm totally outing myself here, and I hope that none of my future employers hear this, because I am a team player when it's high stakes and something I'm really invested in.
Right. She would totally be a team player for you. It's just
Totally.
these other groups that no.
Totally.
Would you say that like a group of 3 is probably an optimum team, all contributing their own ideas and then coming together to create a wonderful product?
Yes.
It's worked for us.
Yeah, I think so. Teammates.
This party of 3 is working.
Party of 3. Anyway, that's it for today's round 3. Tune in tomorrow and we'll obsess about superstitions, and then on Friday to see what we've come up with for our Roundabout Roundup picks this week. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you will find us at Roundabout Chat.